Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today is going to be a special video because, obviously, face reveal and that sort of thing. Today I'm going to review finally, Hogwarts Legacy. Oh my god, this game has been... Oh, thank you, Avalanche. Oh, wow, this has been a joyful journey for me. Oh, it's been a childhood come dream, basically, and I can't really describe the experience I had with this game for a long time. Sorry, I might be switching my eyesight back and forth. I have to make sure the camera is stable and that sort of thing. It might be stable. But anyway, so Hogwarts Legacy, I'm done. I'm done 100%. I've done all the achievements to Steam achievements, all of them, and I done I collect everything basically. Every single location, treasure cave, keys, Merlin trials, quest, main quest and side quest and all that sort of thing. I got it. Maybe it took me around 140 hours. I think I'm around 108 right now because I'm doing several playthroughs right now. It's also going to be a little bit jumping because I'm going to clip. You can see my dog in the background. It's not just the only dog. Maybe you can see the Chihuahua right there. They're having a little bit of nap or siesta right now because we have just been out walking for a long time right now. Before I start my review on this video game, I have to address a very serious shit that's going around, not just on YouTube, Twitch, and all that sort of thing, social medias, and that is the harassment, bullying by certain people on many Twitch streamers, that sort of thing. I'm not a Twitch streamer. I don't watch it or use it anyway. I have a life basically. Yeah, as I said, this harassment that's going around just because J.K. Rowling, the J.K. Rowling, should we call it scandal? I don't think so. I have said that I support J.K. Rowling absolutely when it comes to what do you call that? Biological. Sorry, my English is very terrible. That's just you have to live with. You can do whatever you want with your body. Like, if you want to have a female body, go ahead, but you can't convince me that a female who's all of a sudden done a sex change operation, that sort of thing, has become a man, is demanding male rights. As a biological male, I can say that's not fair, that you haven't earned it, that sort of thing. Just like for males who turn into females. As I said, I'm all for trans rights, that's the thing. I support any kinds of, discrimination laws. Like, trans people should absolutely have rights to get job and get education, all that sort of stuff. Maybe even their own bathrooms. Go ahead. Like, doesn't bother me. But when they start to infringe on certain rights, then I have to step down my foot. There's a line. I'm sorry that you can't. That's just my opinion. You have to live with that. You have to respect that. Yet that's just like I have to live in respect with certain people that I don't get along with. But when it comes to J.K. Rowling, this is kind of the only thing that I kind of support her mildly. Other than that, I really don't support whatever she's spewing out in her mouth. But other than that, I can't really speak too much about it. The only thing I can tell you right now, in the eyes of very many, and also kind of like neutral people like me in the politics, this has hurt the LGBT, or that sort of thing, communities, in my eyes, because, guys, people, we're gamers. We're middle class kind of people. Like I am at least. Like, we work hard every day. We want to come home and we want to play a game. We want to escape this absolute shit that's happening right now in the world. With the pandemics and the war in Ukraine, the Putin, that absolute asshole, and all that, the or the sort of the things that happen with the US and that sort of thing. Like, can't we just have some fun, just escape this horrible world sometimes? Apparently, for these people, no. Then obviously, unsubscribe, just disappear. Like, you're not forced to watch people like me doing this review or other people's playing a game. If you have a problem with that sort of people, all that sort of thing, don't watch. Just go away. Go with your pals instead. You spend time with your pals and that sort of thing. Don't come to us and start bitching about, trans right, JK Roy, how can you do this? You're supporting transphobia for playing this. All I have to say, fuck off. Like, seriously, I'm done with these sort of people. You can scream how high you ever want to do. I'm not listening. I don't give a damn. I care only about my life right now. And for actual people who are in absolute terrible situation right now in Ukraine and that sort of thing, like, shut the hell up. There are people out there with actual problem. That's all I have to say about this. These sort of harassments that's going on. They are nothing but losers, in my opinion. I don't care if they're black, white, yellow, gay, lesbian, trans, whoever who harassing people, that sort of thing, and causing people harm, just fuck off. So anyway, back to the game. So first things first, graphic, love it. It really looks good. I was surprised with the graphics. I have a RTX 3090 Ti. Yeah, it was called. So I could run the game on ultra, inclusive the ray tracing, but I didn't have it on most of the time because performance wise, I played it around 100 frames per second, 120 sometimes. It's a good looking game, but I have to say that yes, the graphic do look a little bit like 5 years, maybe 6 years, something like that. I mean, it kind of have the same graphic. If I should compare it to Dragon Age Inquisition or Mass Effect Andromeda, that's where I could put it, somewhere around there. Maybe a step up. But graphically, it's good. It's really good. I love the effects of the shadows. I love the distance. I love the what do you call it now? The close enough textures and stuff. It's really beautiful. Like the texture on the skin. That's something I cannot praise in sort of way for this. A rating for a graphic, I have to put around an 8 out of 10 at least. It's far above average for me. And the graphical settings, there are a lot of them, thankfully. I mean, I tested different kind of graphic settings and that sort of thing. And I gotta say that there's a lot of good graphic settings in this game. There was a ton. Like, it's a fun stuff for me. I really dig when they do that. And then we go over to the world. I mean, the world is beautiful. Holy crap. The castle is fantastic. I mean, we haven't seen this sort of detail about the castle since, like, what? The Half-Blood Prince for Xbox and PS4, I think it was. I don't remember exactly, it was many years ago. This castle is beautiful. Bravo, Avalanche, you really did your research. Then of course the surroundings of the castle, absolutely beautiful, especially the Dark Forest, no, the Forbidden Forest, excuse me. I really liked that location. It was really good. What was it? Yeah, the Forbidden Forest, beautiful locations. Hogsmeade is really beautiful. Everywhere is very beautiful. Like, whether you go north or south, the world is just beautiful. That's all I have to say about this. It's beautiful crafted. I don't think I have seen this beautiful crafted world since possibly The Witcher. Yeah, The Witcher, like the Blood and Wine map. Like that was a really beautiful map. And you have a lot of things to do in the world, which is really good. That's more like on the gameplay section that I'm going to talk about. But as I said, there's a lot of things to do in the map, and there's a lot of beautiful locations, and I really, really love this world. Fantastic crafted. That's all I have to say. A 9 out of 10. But I do feel like they could have been bigger. Like the map is very narrow. Like it's going down south like this. It's, in my opinion, I like more wider map. Like how should I say it? Like Skyrim, or yeah, The Witcher. Like where it's a big map, like wide open and that sort of thing. That's where I like it. So, well, that's more like the DLC sections as well. Expanding the map. I do think they are going to do so. I mean, that's we're gonna talk about that later. So let's move over to the music. The music, oh, the music is beautiful. Like, I don't think I can remember exactly when I thought that a game music could be this beautiful. It must have been like Mass Effect many years ago. But yeah, the music in this sometimes it's just reminiscing the Harry Potter movies music and John Williams themes and that sort of thing. Really beautiful. I have to whoever did the music score and that sort of thing in this game. Bravo! I have to say it's really good. Like sometimes some of them are just, especially that Dark Forest music with that. I think it's called. It's not a harp. What is it called? It's a specific kind of violin. I think it is. Kind of like one of those Scandinavians harps, violins, whatever they were called. It starts to play when you're in the Forbidden Forest. That's all I have to say. So yeah, music, 9 out of 10. It's perfect. Like when you are in a different ambience, it feels like when you're walking into the common room, you do feel like that sort of ambience hitting you. You're walking in the dark forest, you're walking in the Forbidden Forest, and the music just feels eerie, it feels forbidden, it feels like this feels a little bit scary, and I love that. Walking around the castle, the music just spew up this what do you call it, mysteries and just adventures and that sort of thing. I really like Skyrim, like back 10 years now. No, wait, 11 years? I don't remember. Over a decade basically. The music was really good. Holy shit! Even today, I love the Skyrim music, and so I think I'm going to love this game's music for a long time as well. Pretty much like The Witcher as well. It has a very awesome music. Like when you're in the battle, you like that. Na 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 na. Ah, it's so good. Gameplay, okay, gameplay. I was so many people have been worried about the gameplay, especially the Wizard Battle and the wand warfare, whatever you call it, wand dueling and that sort of thing. It has been done very many times in many games, especially Harry Potter games, and all of them has been a little bit meh. Especially that Harry Potter, Call of Harry Potter, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that was a shit game. But yeah, the gameplay, the wizard, the dueling, the wand battle, the battle, and that sort of thing is so good. Like the combination you can mixture and test and experience for yourself what you kind of like, what kind of combination you like, and that sort of thing. Very surprisingly for me, I was like, I want to be evil, I want to do dark stuff and that sort of thing. But I grew more attached to like the charming spells, like transfiguration spells, Glacio, Leviosa, and that sort of thing. I grew a little bit more attached to that one. Sections, if you want to call it. But yeah, the combat is really good. Like I had so much fun with the combat here. It's very reminiscent to that Batman game and Spider-Man game that came out for some years ago. But honestly, it worked. I really liked the combat in this game. And the cool things about with this combat is that in the beginning you feel like you are like you're a student. You don't know shit, especially like you going out in the Forbidden Forest and you can be like one hitted by something. I played on hard difficulty, by the way. I and also I removed some of the HUD to capture that immersion more. But yeah, big mistake walking out into the Forbidden Forest when you in the beginning of the game. Like I was insta kill by a freaking spider. But when I completed the game like to 100% and all spells and that sort of thing, holy shit! Even on hard difficulty, you become a beast. Like you can one hit the most highest level boss. Like it's it's really cool in some way, but also after some time it can be boring. Let's be honest. Without any challenge or that sort of thing, it starts to become more boring. We also have the potions that we can use, like health potion, focus potions. What was that? Thunderstorm kind of person. Honestly, I didn't use potions that much, except for the health potions, mostly. All the other stuff, I really didn't use it because it felt like useless. Like I didn't need it. So I was a little bit the disappointing that the potion felt a little bit left out. If I have to be honest here, I pretty much used plants more than I used potions. So the plants are, in my opinion, a bit more helpful in combat compared to the potions. So yeah, the combat is an 8 out of 10. There are some flaws that I didn't like about it, but otherwise it was okay. It was really good. It was fun. That's the thing. It was fun. Including the flying like broomstick and mounts, mostly broomstick, let's be honest, can be really fun. Like Avalanche, you have the recipe here. You have the recipe to make a Quidditch. Come on. Yes, come on. I can see it. I can see it. Like in the gameplay of the broom, you're flying. That's a, oh my god. Quidditch. Anything else about the gameplay? Well, but you also have this side quest, if you want to call it that, out in the world, like Merlin's tries, which is a ton of them. But unfortunately, they are very repetitive. They are very. They may be a bit different how they lay the layout for the same kind of trials, but they are very repetitive and it can become boring after a while. I think there were too many of them. Maybe scale down 20, 25 of them. It might have been better. Treasure caves also felt very repetitive in the beginning, but as you start to move down south to a more higher level area, if you want to call it, you start to get a little bit different kind of treasure caves and that sort of thing, but it's still a little bit too unrewarded, if I have to be honest, because you only find like clothing and that sort of thing, not really like something special. They're like a new design for wands and that sort of thing. Something a little bit more. But the thing is, a lot of the critics I'm going to bring up on this game is going to be very mild, because this is Avalanche's first real big open world proper RPG game. I mean, if you look at what they made before, the jump they must have done with this game is amazing. It's impressive as hell. That's all I have to say. So what about the story? The story was, to me, it wasn't the best story I ever been experienced in video games, but it wasn't bad either. It was okay. Like I felt, I think they could have done it better. You do start to feel that they must have been rushing a little bit around maybe the third trial you're gonna do for the keepers. It does feel a little bit like it starts to rush a little bit by the end of it, and you can definitely see it because there's a lot of unanswered questions and unanswered quest and for other characters, yourself, and for the rest of the game, for the rest of Wizard World, if it feels like. So I don't think it was there were sometimes it were really impactful, like Lord Grop speech about his memories about Miriam. That was really well done, like dialogues, the writings, the ambience, the music, the actors, and that sort of really impressive down there, in my opinion. And there's of course sometimes it's just I want to skip it. Like I didn't care that much. The final boss for me felt like also a little bit disappointing. I thought it was going to be something more renew, if is that how you say it, something like nuance, something like that, like something new. This felt a little bit out of place in if that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it did feel a little bit out of place in some sort of way. I can't really explain exactly how I felt about it, but the only thing I said, like, I thought I was hoping for something more personal, because, for example, she's dreaming. For example, Victor Rockwood, you basically have a boss fight with him, and it's very disappointing. Like, it was over like that. Like, what? This is one of the main villains in the game. Like, it's kind of sad because I feel like Victor Rockwood was a good character. I was like, you may be having something here. Okay, I'm interesting. Keep going. Let's hear. And then just like that. Like, okay, we have Ranrock left. What's he going to do? And yeah, it did felt very rushed by the end. Understandable in sort of way, because I don't know, when did they start? Like 4 years ago with this game, so they still have a lot of time, but deadlines is going to be held. Like, in a way, this game was very stable at launch compared to something like Cyberpunk, like, which was just catastrophe for video games. This was one of the most stable launch for very big RPG games. I have maybe one T-post, 60 hours in, I did have a crash. Other than that, nothing really else. Some glitches, absolutely, but they weren't really like immersive glitches in sort of way. But the villain of the games, Ranrock and Victor, felt a little bit unused, if that's the correct way to say it. I didn't feel like they were. Would I put them at the same level as Voldemort? No, nowhere near as evil as he was. I even think Grindelwald was a better villain than Ranrock and Victor was. Victor might have a much more potential, becoming more like a Grindelwald kind of enemy villain, because Voldemort feels more like, his racial hatred, that sort of thing. I guess Muggles, and he's basically Wizard Hitler, and Grindelwald felt more like he felt calculating. And now I'm talking about Johnny Depp's character, not the Danish actor. I don't remember his name now. Madsen. Like, I feel like Grindelwald's character was much more calculating, much more like intrigue, much more like political maneuvering and manipulating, that sort of thing. Much better, that sort of villainly. Something you can in a way relate to when you see politicians, that sort of thing. But anyway, so yeah, villain, not really the most iconic, very forgettable in sort of way, except maybe I would say Victor Rockwood is much more of a rememberable villain than Ranrock, because it felt like they had some sort of missed opportunity with these two villains. Side characters we can go in on as well. I'm a little bit disappointed about that as well. The only real side characters that you pretty much spend most time with is Sebastian, and he actually has one of the kind of like only consequence choices in this game, especially by the end of it or throughout the entire storyline, that sort of thing. Nets, I did not feel I couldn't care that much. Like, I wanted to like this character because she seems to be interesting, because she's from a different continent. She's from a different wizard school. She does talk about it, but very like in one dialogue, very few dialogues, and she also has special powers. Well, something that I thought, like, come on, why can't I do that? Like, come on, she even tells you how to get this power. Like, oh, come on, yes, show me. I want that power. I want the power. But anyway, so no, you couldn't get her power, which we're gonna talk about later. But yeah, Natsai her story felt very the least most interesting, and honestly the most boring of all the characters, which is unfortunate because I felt like I wanted to like this character, but no. She had unfortunately very boring quest, and except for one, boring dialogues, except for very few. The actress who performs with her and that sort of thing, she does a decent job in my opinion. It's decent, but she is the least most likable side characters in my opinion. Then between Poppy Sweeting and Sebastian Swallow, I have to say Poppy was much more interesting in my opinion. Mostly because of Beast, and her quest was actually really actually rememberable and pretty cool. Sebastian's, even though he does have, you can impact his life much more than you can do it Natsayo or Poppy in any kind of way. But yeah, Sebastian, the only real thing about him is that you can learn the unforgivable curses from him, like the Crucio, Imperio, Avada Kedavra, that's the thing, killing spell. Um, if I have to rank them, I would say Poppy is above all of them. Poppy, she's at the top. Sebastian, Natsai. The one thing I also want to point out is that I was very disappointing, and that was, it kind of felt a little bit false marketing, because they did say in the, what's the state of play now, some of them trailers maybe, they did say that you can take your companions and walk around go out for adventures and that sort of thing. You can't really do that. They only follow you in special quests and something, which is just why. Like, they do actually act like they do act like companions. Like, they follow you around. They can even help you in battle. They are actually helpful during combat. Why can't we just call them out? Let's go together out in the world and just explore and do Merlin tries, and so have them like commenting on what we're doing and that sort of thing. Like, they do comments sometimes when you use unforgivable curses and other stuff and that sort of thing. So I would honestly want an actual companion system here, because it did feel like they took that feature out from this game. When I talk about the game being, felt like it was rushed. Professor Fig, for example, I liked the performance the actor did with him. Flawlessly, in my opinion, really, really good. It's not as impactful as, for example, characters from the Harry Potter world, like Hagrid, Dumbledore, Ron, or even Fred and George, Hermione, even Luna Lovegood. It felt very. I wouldn't say like, I wouldn't say forgivable, but I wouldn't say like forgettable, but just fine. Like it was fine. It wasn't grandiose in some sort of way, but it did feel a little bit left out. Their relationship, like he only teaches you like two spells or something like that. He's supposed to be my mentor, isn't he? Supposed to be teaching me more and more about spells and that sort of thing. I feel like if we were going out in more adventures out in the world, like Gringotts, as we were, that ruins in the beginning in the intro, then if we had more those kind of missions, I do feel like we could have a much more build up, like emotional build up for him. Then of course we have the Weasley, the headmistress. No, head. What do you call it? Like the second in command, if you want to call it like that, for Hogwarts. Also, there, like, a lot of the teachers felt very unusable. Like they only send you owls, giving you assignments, which is kind of weird. Like that's not really how you're supposed to learn spells. So there's a lot about this game that is really amazing, and some of them just, huh? But yeah, the characters, they feel very like, I want to know more about. You can ask them and you can talk to them, but I want more. Like for example, the head of Slytherin. That I don't know if is he Indian. I don't know. I don't remember the charms lessons teacher. The head of the head of Slytherin. Basically, I know he's that. I really liked the first impression. The first impression we got of him. I was like, more of him, please. He even sometimes he does have really cool dialogues and moments with him. Like, oh, what more of him? Other than that, a lot of the teachers feel left out. They don't feel very impactful, and honestly, you don't spend that much time in Hogwarts, so you don't really get to know these characters as much as you want to. Like Professor Howing, the Beast teacher, you going out in this world and saving all these animals like the phoenix and hippogriff and unicorns, and you can't even tell the professor about it. Like, I would love to know what her reaction would be if she saw the things I did in the room of requirement. Or Professor Garlic, if maybe she can have much more. I mean, there's a lot of memes about her right now, but I wanted a bit more, not just cutscenes about classes and lessons, that sort of thing. I want something more, like something more interactable. And I hope that's going to be the case either in a DLC or possibly a Hogwarts Legacy 2, which so far, as I've saw it on an article, apparently they have greenlight a Hogwarts Legacy 2. In my opinion, that just shows you how amazing, in a way, the success of this game has been. I think it shocked the developers, even Warner Bros. And Portkey Games and that sort of thing. It really took them by surprise. But story-wise, I have to give a 7 out of 10. It's a bit forgettable, but it's still like okay. It's fine. It's not the most oh my god, this is the newest Mass Effect story now. No, I think that the Witcher 3 story is much more better, much more well written, and much better characters and interactable things and that sort of thing. So let's talk a little bit about the future of Hogwarts Legacy. So there was an article coming out from IGN, I think it was, where they got the question, "Are you planning to do DLC and updates for the game?" And they said, "No, we haven't planned for that." But they have kind of like correct that now. I think they say like, "We haven't planned of it yet." So yes, I think there's going to be DLC for this game. What kind of DLC I don't know, but if I would choose, I would want expanding the map, new territories, like maybe a type big new island that you can see from the coast, expanding the Forbidden Forest, new ruins, new treasure caves, more special made, better, maybe more like dungeons than the treasure caves. The one thing I would like more, expanding the map. It does feel a little bit too narrow. Even though it's big, it's massive, it does feel a little bit too narrow. Quidditch, obviously, it have to. Like, they need to. Oh, I remember Quidditch VM game. Oh, so many hours I spent on that when I was young. Dementors, the Expecto Patronum. I hope there's going to be some sort of interaction with the Dementors, and you get to learn the Expecto Patronum, where you can maybe finally manage to import more about your things about the Wizard World account and that sort of thing. More wand designs, because I was very disappointed when it came to the wand designs. I didn't really like most of them. It was like two I actually could consider to be acceptable. Nowadays I mostly use mods, like wands like Sirius Black or the Elder Wand from the movies, which are just so much more cooler looking than most of the wands in this game. And it's kind of weird because there's a lot of wands designing that a lot of NPCs are wearing or carrying, but you get to choose like 4 or 5 designs, which was just, huh? However, there's a lot of like wand handles out in the world that you can collect, which is really good. That customizable, love it. Just like the room requirement, love it. An actual companion feature where you can actually call your maybe net sign and just let's go out in the world, explore and do some things. I don't know why they took that out. Some people say, "Oh, this is don't want that." I mean, this is not Skyrim. A lot of people say like, yeah, no, like, but it's still, it does feel boring. Like, it does feel like even your characters actually commenting on that, like, "Oh, I wish my friends was here to see me doing this. Oh, I wish Professor Fig will saw this," and like, "Oh, I can't celebrate my victory with anyone." Like, it's kind of sad in sort of way, and it does become like boring. That's what I have to say. Like, it does after a while, out exploring ruins and that sort of thing. It does start to become boring without anyone to like have some sort of interaction. Much more, how would you say, more collectibles, obviously, fine, no argument for me. However, one big thing I want to see either as mostly as a DLC, more mini games, repeatable mini games, because when you're done with the summoner court, I think it was called, you do like this the ball game. You do it like 4 times. After that, you can't do it again. Like, what? Like, it was actually a kind of fun mini game to play. Like, why couldn't we do more repeatable things about it? But it just disappeared. Just like the dueling club, it just disappeared after a while. You do like 4 quests or something with it, then you just disappear. Why? Like, why not you do it more repetitively? Still amazing in one way, but where's the because, as I said, I'm 100% done with the game. I have nothing else to do. It does become boring. I want to have something to do, even though it's 100%. So I just made a new character. Obviously, more quest. Like, I feel like we need a more proper ending for some of the characters. Like, for example, Sebastian. I'm not going to spoil, but you can. You do have a choice to that can alter his life. So, and it kind in one of those choices, it becomes very dark, and then you don't really. After that choice, you never see him again. Like, yeah, and also his, how should I say it without spoiling it, his sibling, like, it just ends. Like, come on, something to continue the story for Sebastian and Poppy, because there's some things that I was like, there's potential for a lot of the characters for a, excuse me, for a more quest, in my opinion. Not just a companion feature, but just quest in general. Like, for example, Netsayama can maybe help you with that certain power, and maybe Poppy find more beasts, different more beasts out in the world, and she contacts you, and she kind of says to you where they are and how to get them and that sort of thing, what you need to capture them, instead of just a knapsack. Maybe you need some sort of bait. Like, there's a lot of things here that there's so much potential for DLC and that sort of thing. House points. Oh my god, if they ever gonna do, whichever comes first, a DLC for it or Hogwarts Legacy 2, house points. It just felt completely removed from this game. Like, they do say, 5 points to Ravenclaw, and just okay, and that's like the only time it's happening. Then all of a sudden, by the end of the game, this is no spoilers, by the way, this basically happens no matter what, and that is whichever house you chose wins the house cup race or whatever it was called, no matter what. So, house point system, please. And more side characters, because I do feel like there's a lot of side characters in the different common rooms and that sort of thing. Like, for example, Ahmed Takar, whatever, something like that. Indian. I'm very terrible when it comes to foreign names, but yeah, Ahmed, I really like that character. I was like, me, we're going out in the world, we're going to explore, we're going to have some fun. But unfortunately, you only have like one quest with him, and it's actually a fun quest in my opinion when he's involved. Other than that, the like no other side characters that you can take on quests and that sort of thing. They mostly give you like minor quest, like go and fetch that thing, and go and fetch a treasure, go and see, collect that sort of thing. Like, it's just, come on, like, really. So I know I'm very hard on a lot of things, but that's because we have been exposed to much more better RPG game. Do I consider this to be a proper RPG game? No. If I have to point out a proper RPG game, I will probably point my finger to Kingdom Come Deliverance or the Elder Scrolls games, and some other games I can't really come up with a name right now. But I feel like a lot of choices only have like 2 outcomes, and it's very narrating compared to, for example, Mass Effect 2, which had so many endings and so many possibilities that could happen. But that is the thing. If they're going to do a Hogwarts Legacy 2, do I want a complete new characters, or do I want us to kind of like have a Mass Effect game to game progress? I would rather have a continuing story. Like I want to see my characters go through the 6th year or the 7th year. But overall, I have to give a proper rating for the entirety of the game. I would give this game a 8 out of 10. It's a really good game, and for a video game studios that used to make like small like Disney Infinity and that car racing game, to go and to do this, like it's really impressive in my opinion. You have to give praise to the developers at Avalanche. They made the right decisions delaying the game. They made the right decision hiring good people. They made the right decision and marketing this game. Well, some of that I have to praise them. Good job, Avalanche. You created a video game that so far it looks like it's going to stay as the game of the year. I don't see a lot of games coming out this year, except maybe like indie games. Other than that, I don't have much to say. That I had really fun with this game. I probably going to continue playing it for a while. I mean, the modding community for this game is insane. Like, whoa. It's just been out like what, 3 weeks or something, and already it's like, oh, there are mods out there that are really good and are just game changing in some sort of way. But anyway, that's all for now. It's been a fun time waiting for the game, and it's really it does feel really great as a gamer that we had something like this past years has been completely dry when it comes to video games, and the video game industry is on fire right now. There's so much shit going on with the Activision, Blizzard, Ubisoft. Like there's so much shit going on. Like most of the time right now, I'm turning to indie games, and some of them are this year that I'm looking forward to, like the World of the Worlds game that looks really fun. What more? There's the Tank Squad, I think it was called. What more? Yeah, obviously any kind of DLC for Hogwarts Legacy. So yeah, thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoy it, my review and that sort of thing. I hope you had if you played the game, I hope you had a magical time with it as I had. And if you're a Potter fan, I can, as a mild Potter fan sort of way, I can tell you, like, for Potter fans, this game is a dream come true. Like for me, for example, who grew up with Harry Potter, this is a childhood coming true. And yes, I want a Hogwarts Legacy 2. More DLC, obviously, so we can have something to do during the big wait for another game. And apparently it's been, as I said, this is just a rumor so far that I read it from an article, that apparently it's been green light. That, as I said, it's a rumor, it's not official so far. There was just an article that popped up. I didn't read the entirety, I just read the headlines saying that the possibility for not a DLC but a sequel is on the way. I highly recommend Avalanche, please. Yes, Hogwarts Legacy 2, work on it now. But anyway, thank you all. See you next time. I don't know what's going to be. Maybe next time I'm going to do a video game review is going to be, as I said, it's very dry right now, the Skull and Bones now. Yeah, maybe in 20 years. Maybe it's going to be the Oppenheimer movie. I mean, that's the only thing that I'm looking forward to for this upcoming summer. Otherwise, I don't see that much, to be honest. maybe mostly just indie games. Other than that, nothing. Like, some say Assassin's Creed, but honestly, I moved on from Assassin's Creed. Not my games anymore, even though I am a history nerd and that sort of thing. Anyway, well, see you all later.